oh, I have this one, Mythic Plus is pissing me off. It is a dude that only has 159 subs, but the video itself has 13k views. And the title, of course, caught my attention. Mythic Plus is pissing me off. It is pissing me off too. So let's watch it. I want to see what he has to say in here.
Right, so with a title like that, certainly this video is going to be filled with nothing but reasonable, level-headed takes. And it won't just be me getting...
He knows that the title calls the attention, my dude.
Angrier and angrier the more I talk about this topic, right? It won't just be that, right? Yeah, let's get into it. Hey, Double D, and right out the gate, I'm not some WoW-hating aficionado. I don't get off on playing the game 200 hours deep just to turn around and say, yeah, there's not really much to it, it kind of sucks. If anything, you look at my past videos, it's mostly just a bunch of shitty jokes, but at worst, I'm cranking this thing up to a nice solid half chub. But this past week, the Mythic Plus system has been grinding my gears into the dirt and making me...
Only this week, this shit has been like this from the start of the season, bro.
Look at every corner of a table like it's a suitable option for my forehead. So what is Mythic Plus? Mythic Plus is what you log on to do and hope none of your guildies see you because they'll want to join the group, but you know they're going to brick your key because the last time you ran together, they pulled 3 extra packs, wiped the group, and then said, damn, I don't know what happened. I would just hit tab. Jesse.
I am the person that does that, by the way. I am the person in my guild or in the groups that taps and pulls an extra pack. I am the one that does it.
No, Mythic Plus is WoW's end-game pillar of content for small 5-man group play. It is an infinitely scaling experience in that as you push a key higher and higher to access a dungeon, the mobs get more health, they deal more damage, or maybe there's some special affixes and mutators that you have to interact with that can alter your gameplay, or maybe the group composition that you bring to the dungeon, things like that. It is infinitely scaling so that the better you get, or the better gear that you get, you can always have something to tackle that you're getting better and better at, hopefully, until you reach a max point that you cannot go any higher, right? And the rewards scale up, to an extent, based on what you're tackling. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not upset about dungeon levers, or the difficulty of dungeons, the scaling of them.
I am upset about dungeon levers. Fuck dungeon levers, brother. Fuck them. Pussy bitches.
Or the affixes that Blizzard insists must be inflicted upon the dungeon hearing population. I'm not even mad about the timer. Even though I think it's dumb and I hate that it exists, there are some people that like that feature, and they like interacting with it and how it alters their gameplay. That's fine. People are allowed to have fun. Do I fucking like it? No, not one bit. But whatever. That's...
Yeah, the new thing that the Challenger's Peril, it is not stupid per se, the idea. I understand the idea behind it. But the timers are too tight, and it makes it a pain in the ass to finish the dungeon on time, brother. It punishes wipes a lot. So yes, I like the philosophy behind it is not completely stupid, but the implementation, it is not the best implementation. They have to fine-tune this Challenger's Peril stuff.
That's not even what's got me so riled up. What's got me so mad is the key depletion. And I feel...
Hey, I have a video talking about that. The key depletion sucks. There are people that say, no, but you need a punishment, brother, to not finish the dungeon. Yes, the punishment is failing. It's not finishing the dungeon. You get less crest. You get, I don't know if you get less items, but you definitely get less crest. You get no rating. You get your thing in Raider.io grayed out because you didn't complete it. That is the punishment, dude. You don't have to punish me again by depleting my key. And now I have to do the key again to get back to where I was, and I can fail again. Brother, there are stories all the time of people, oh, I had a 10 key and I got it down to a 6. Because sometimes it is not your fault. Sometimes you get a tank that is bad and the healer is pissed off and he leaves the dungeon. And your key is depleted. Is this your fault? Do you deserve your key to be depleted because of that? No, brother, you don't. You don't. The key depletion system sucks. Or they remove the depletion, or they tune it some way. Like if someone leaves a dungeon and it is your key, you don't deplete it. But that is too hard. Like, I don't know how. I am not a coder, but that would be harder to pull off, right? So in that case, just make it so that you don't deplete it. Nobody likes declaring that bullshit, by the way. This is just like a 2% of the player base that think that they are hardcore and key depletion is cool. But it is not. Key depletion sucks. There are people that say that key depletion serves a gameplay purpose because if not, you will have like too many people doing lower keys or whatever. Nah, you will always have people doing everything, and they can incentivize you to do stuff in different ways. This is not an excuse. Key depletion is a bullshit, a stupid system that can be improved. It can be improved. Maybe it serves something, but it can definitely be improved. Right now it sucks. Nobody likes it. Just change it.
Like, no matter what level you're playing at, you could get behind this. You could get behind what's got me so pissed off about this particular mechanic of the Dungeon Mythic Plus experience. So in relation to that experience, I have, this past week, 3 separate encounters or instances of being trapped within this vicious cycle of key depletion that has sent me into the stratosphere of being pissed off about it. So much so that I decided to make...
That makes me think he depleted like what I was saying. Like you deplete one key and you deplete it again and you deplete it again, and it is not your fault. It is people leaving the dungeon and you, what do I do now? Like a couple of weeks ago, I just decided to stop pushing my key because I got it from like an 8 to a 4, something like that. And right now I have a 10. I have a 10 mists. And like I am afraid to post it because I don't want to downgrade it. I want to complete it. Because at least if you don't time it, but you complete it, you get the gold. So I am like, I have to do this with friends. I have to do this with friends and complete the dungeon, brother.
Make this video, no script, no prep work, no nothing, just me spitting about something that has got me a little riled up.
Those motherfuckers killed me with the turtle, brother. How hard do they hit?
So if you're unfamiliar with what key depletion is, this is the way it works. So when you have a mythic dungeon key, you show up to a dungeon with a group of 4 other idiots who are all gonna fuck you, and you put the key in and it scales the dungeon up.
And the only person that gets punished, that is another thing the idiots don't understand. No, you need a punishment for not timing it. The only person that gets punished is the dude with the key. The other 4 motherfuckers don't get punished at all. In fact, they are incentivized to leave the dungeon before it is completed to not get a knock time key in their profile. What is this bullshit, motherfucker? Yeah, there is no way in hell we win this battleground, by the way.
Complete the dungeon within the timer, it goes up in difficulty for the next random dungeon that you get. So say you had a 10, it can go to an 11. Or if you complete it even faster than that, you can get a 12. And once you have that new key, that's the progression. You go into the harder dungeon, doing harder content, hopefully with some increased rewards. If you fail the dungeon run, for any reason, you miss the timer, either you stop, you quit, the group falls apart, you missed it by 5 seconds.
Exactly, that is the problem. That
5
any
hours,
reason.
doesn't matter.
It shouldn't be any reason. It should be a specific reason. But now if someone leaves your shit, you are fucked. That shouldn't be a reason.
It goes down in level. So that 10 now becomes a 9. And in order to get back to a 10, you got to go run that 9 to push it to a 10. Or higher if you do that 9 fast enough. And the fun part about this is no matter what level of keys that you're doing, this stays a staple of the system all throughout. So when I say this happened to me 3 times this past week, I don't mean I did 100 dungeons.
That thing he just said is a key indication that you can solve the issue with that people say, oh, there will be no lower keys. Keep the system for lower keys. Keep it from 1 to 7, let's say. Because in those levels, first one, you are not going to deplete it, let's be honest. And if you do, you don't care that much. You are farming the same stuff you are farming. Like, probably like doing a 4 or doing a 5, you are going to get the same thing, so you don't care, really. unless you are pushing for rating, but it is not that big of a deal at those levels. But if I am at 10 in my key and I downgrade it to a 9, that is a pain in the ass. I don't want that happening. So you can modify the system to certain key levels. If you want to say that no, there is not going to be low key levels, well, you have this idea right there.
And this happened in 3 of them. I mean, across 2 different play sessions, this same bullshit happened 3 times, and I only let it happen 3 times because by the 3rd one, I was so damn mad and angry at the system, I said, I'm done doing this shit altogether. And I was pissed off enough.
You just close the game, bro. You just close the game. My playtime went down because of that. My playtime went down because of that. You get pissed off. I am wasting my time in here. What am I doing with my life? Like, I have 3 hours playing the game. I have not completed a single dungeon. What am I doing? I am going to do other shit that is better for me. That is the truth. That is the truth.
To make this. So I'm running keys, and when I do that, I just run my own key. I don't try to get into Mythic Plus groups because there's like 100 applicants for every 11 and 12 or 10 that gets posted. It's just not worth it. It's a waste of time to me. So I just run my own shit. So I post my key up, I'm running with a guildie of mine, he's decent, and then we grab 3 other pugs. So I've gotten 11, because from the previous week, I had pushed it high enough to start with the 11. So, we run into the 11, clear it, no problem. Easy. Push it to a 12. Make a new group, get some guys together. We're going into Arakara City of Echoes. Here we go. Some of you may be familiar with this dungeon. Some of you may know that...
I know that the last boss breaks completely groups. It is a group breaker, the last boss in Arakara. Yeah, I'm doing good. We're just taking a break on videos. Oh, nice. Okay. But I got a video uploading now reacting to your recent D4 upload. Oh, that is cool, brother. That is cool. I will watch it after I finish the stream, brother. Thank you for that, my dude. And I got a few gameplay videos I need to get edited and uploaded and a few other video ideas in the works. That is cool, brother. That is cool. I will, of course, check all of that out, my dude. You know that I will. When we are closer to the PoE2 thing, we can do something, right? I want to do stuff for PoE2.
There's a large trash pool that a lot of tanks will want to do, where they pull a bunch of trash up to the first mini-boss. And you just, as long as you get a bunch of interrupts, you can take it down pretty reasonably well. It's fine. You don't have to do it. It's not absolutely necessary, but this is the MDI after all, so we gotta. So we load into the dungeon, we all buff up, our tank says, yo, I'm pulling to the first mini-boss, keep up. And that is exactly what we do. We start off the dungeon, we are within the first minute of the dungeon. He's pulling trash, he doesn't go all the way to the mini-boss, instead he stops short. Then our other pug member, an evoker, decides, okay, well, this is probably a good time to start pulling extra shit off.
This story you are hearing for this dude, this happens in like 50% of keys, if not more. And people that aren't putting the key don't give a fuck because they lose nothing. They lose nothing by leaving the key. You are the one that are fucked if you are pushing your key, because you are going to deplete it. They just leave the dungeon and they apply to a different group, and just like that, nothing happens. It is not like in, I don't know, in Dota 2 or in League of Legends that you leave a game and then you can't queue again for a period of time. So, and you get like penalizations in your account. You can get even bans, or in Dota 2 you get low priority queue, which sucks. Those games are stupid. So you get a punishment for leaving the game, dude. In Mythic Plus, you just leave the dungeon. If it is not your key, you don't care. You don't care, you just leave it. Who cares? Nothing is going to happen.
To the side with my body, so he does that, ends up freaking out and flying across that room, pulls the mini-boss, and this of course leads to a group-wide wipe, which we all instantly respawn.
And by the way, the Challenger's Peril has added to this problem, because maybe people are not leavers. They truly want to play the game, they truly want to push it. But then you are in over a +7, you are in the Challenger's Peril stuff. You have a couple of wipes, and since the timer is so tight, you realize 10 minutes into the run that there is no way we are going to time this bullshit. Why am I going to stay in here? I won't get rating. I will get less crests. This is not my key. Why will I waste my time completing this dungeon if I think we are not going to complete it because now the timer is too tight because of challenger spells? I am just going to leave this shit. I am not wasting my time. Even if they are not leavers, they were trying to play the game, things went wrong, 2 wipes, timer is too tight, they don't want to waste their time, they leave. And then the dude that put the key up is fucked in the ass. Again, I'm not getting punished when you shouldn't have. You're a stupid bitch.
Again, right at the start of the dungeon, and my buddy and I start just running back because we figure, oh, well, maybe we'll still try to time it. The tank jumps off the ledge, kills himself, leaves the group, says something to the evoker about he's boosted, and then the rest of the group falls apart, obviously. We can't finish it, all within the first 2 minutes of this gameplay experience. And so then, thankfully, that...
Brother, you do that to a new player. We are fucked. We have years playing this bullshit. We like it. We are fucked. We are going to take it. We are going to, like me, I am going to whine about it. I've been whining and complaining and crying about this shit for like 10 videos now. But we are going to keep playing. But a new player will say, fuck this. And they go away. That is the truth. But there are even all-time players. They say in the comments to me all the time, I've been playing this game for 20 years and I can't take this shit anymore. I am not going to keep playing. I will probably come back later if they fix it, but right now, fuck them. That is what I'm reading, brother.
That means
most people want to play the game, but at the same time, they don't want to waste time. Exactly. Because you're playing the game, you want to enjoy your time. Why the fuck would I play a game to not enjoy my time? Then what is the point of playing the game? The point of playing the game is having fun. If I am being miserable, why the fuck am I playing a game? And I am not saying this like for other people. I am saying this to myself. Because when I am playing a Dota 2 game and I am losing, I am miserable. Why the fuck do I play that fucking game? Guys, Dota 2 is my favorite game in the multiplayer space. Because my favorite game is Metal Gear Solid 1. But in the multiplayer space, Dota 2 is my favorite game. Don't play that game. That game is toxic. That game will ruin your fucking life. Fuck Dota 2, my dude. and when you are in there, you are being miserable, but for some reason you like it. I don't know. It is masochism.
that my 12 is now back down to an 11. Ah, immaculate. Wonderful. So, my buddy and I run it back. We take that 11, we get a new group, and we push it this time up to a 13. Great! 13 Dawnbreaker. Easy. This dungeon's totally reasonable. The difficulty is fine. You know, we're built for this. We've got the gear. We're able to handle having to occasionally interrupt. It's not a problem. We grab some more dudes, we show up to the 13 Dawnbreaker, and we're cruising. Again, we get to about, I don't know, maybe the 3rd or 4th minute after the first couple trash packs, and you gotta start flying off to the other ships. Well, hey, guess what? Our tank couldn't. The ship spawned, and when he went to mount, his character phased through the ship, got stuck behind a banner in the little captain's cabin, and he could not escape. He couldn't leap, he couldn't charge, he couldn't intervene out, he couldn't mount and then dismount, he couldn't push his character out from behind this banner. We had a full group together, we were cruising, and again, within the first 4 minutes, lost the key due to a bug.
Typical WoW, bro. Typical WoW.
That 13 Dawnbreaker is now a 12 Dawnbreaker, thanks to a nifty little bug.
And you know what is also sucky about these depletions? That you have to do a dungeon where you get nothing. Because maybe like your key gets depleted to a dungeon where you already did it and you won't get rating. Maybe the crest that it gives, you don't need the crest. Maybe it gives you ruined crest and you need gilded crest. Maybe the gear that drops from end of dungeon, you also don't need it because you are already at that level. So you are forced, the game is forcing you to do content that you don't want to do and you don't need to do because the key depleted. Fuck that! Fuck that! Metal Gear Solid 1 is such a god of a game, brother. It changed my life. I played it when I was like 10 years old for the first time. Since then, I have gone through it like 15 times or 20 times. I don't know. I almost know the game from memory. It is such an awesome fucking game, dude. It changed my fucking life. You would argue that a 10-year-old kid shouldn't play a game like that, but in Latin America, people don't give a fuck. You can play whatever the fuck you want. And it was awesome, brother. It changed my life because Metal Gear Solid 1 is like a cinematic experience. Games weren't like that in that time. Like you played, I don't know, Mario 64 or Crash Bandicoot, and you were just like, oh, jumping around doing stuff. But then you play Metal Gear Solid 1 and it is a fucking cinematic experience. It is an story insane, the cinematics, the voice acting, and your mind is just fucking blown. And you play that shit today. Yes, we have cinematic games and all of that now. But you play that shit today and it is still awesome. It is still cool. Capable of completing, but we forgot to ensure this game running book didn't get patched, get depleted, bitch. Yeah. I have also get depleted because of bugs. In the first week of the season, there were some like orbs that spawn that you have to CC for them to go away. And there is a boss in the necrotic wake that there is like an abomination, and the abomination throws a hook and you have to hook the other dude that is like on a stage. When we got to the step that the dude hooks, the orbs spawn and the hook the orbs. And this is something random that Blizzard didn't think could happen. And we couldn't hook the boss, and we wiped. It is stupid as fuck. Then they patched this can't happen anymore. They patched this, but the first week, it was stupid.
I love it so much. It's so good. But, you know, it's not knocked down to an 11. I'm not going to have to push it up a third time, right? I'd already done it twice. It's still a 12. There's still some IO to get there. Great. Now, I was pissed off enough to say, I'm done running dungeons today. I'm sick of this shit. We'll pick it up tomorrow. And that's exactly what we did. So my buddy and I, we group back up, we grab some fellas, and we head over to the 12.
And he's doing this with a couple of friends. Imagine it doing alone, just by yourself, with 4 random people. It is even worse.
Dawnbreaker. And so we're cruising through this dungeon, we're killing the trash, we down the first boss, and we get to the point where you gotta fly down into the city and start clearing out these lieutenants before the second boss. Well, as we are flying down into the city and before we pull the pack, the tank says, hey, hard pull coming up. We're gonna lust here. Lust. I need you to lust. And we got to do this hard pull. It's got to be tough because this is the MDI, and otherwise we're not going to make the leaderboards. So he goes down, does the big pull. There's a ton of mobs on the screen. Everything is popping off. Tons of interrupts, a lot of group damage, and the shaman never presses lust. Doesn't do it.
Then the other dude is pissed off because they didn't lose and they leave the dungeon.
We end up not being able to kill stuff fast enough, before they start to die off, our group starts to die off. The healer dies, then the shaman dies, and the tank dies. And then my buddy and I are close behind. And at this point, obviously, you know what's coming next. Nothing but flaming. Everyone's talking about, you're boosted, you're a piece of shit, you suck. Why didn't you press lust? It's one button. You got one job. I'm not here to defend the shaman for not pressing lust. Fuck you. But, why? That we've made it this far, and I'm in this deep now with this dungeon, that 12 is becoming an 11, because the group dissolves, everyone leaves, they quit, it's over. Now that 13 Dawnbreaker.
Don't tell me this isn't stupid, brother. You can defend, you can say whatever you want because you are able to overcome this by just playing a bunch, because I don't know why. I don't know what kind of sick person would think this is okay. But I know there are a couple of psychopaths out there that think this is okay. It isn't, brother. It isn't. It isn't. It is stupid as fuck. And I have to think that a lot of people working on the WoW thing know this is stupid, but for some fucked up reason they can't change it or they won't. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this.
That was doable. Is an 11. For the third time in the past 5 dungeons, I have to push the 11 back to a 12. Why? Why? I've proved that I can do 11s, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, brother. Sometimes you two chests, I two chested a 9, something like that. Why don't I have just by default the 9, dude? It is stupid.
I just start back at the 12. Why can I not just run it back? Why can't we just go?
By the way, that is a nice idea for the depletion. Like, if you don't have the key to that level, yes, it depletes. But if you already click the lower level, it doesn't deplete. For example, if you have a 9 key, but you haven't completed the dungeon in 8, then it depletes. It forces you to complete it. But if you already completed that same dungeon in the lower key, why do it if you already proved that you can do it? That is another way you can try to fix the system and keeping the key depletion if you have to keep it. But I would just remove it altogether.
Again, I've got to hit another hour and a half of dealing with a dungeon run just to get the opportunity to do the shit that is the next logical progression point for the dungeons. Why do I have to do that? How many 11s do I gotta run? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. How much punishment do I have to suffer before I'm allowed to just engage in the content that's the next progression step?
That is what I've been saying. When I am inside the dungeon and I am enjoying the game, I am having fun, I am doing my stuff. The problem with the system is everything else, not the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself is awesome. But all the stupid stuff revolving the system, that is the pain in the ass. That is a pain in the ass.
Why do I have to be reset? Why do I have to keep proving that, yeah, I can run fucking 11s? I don't need to run them. I don't want to run them. I don't even want to engage with that part of the system. Why does it keep going down? The rewards are already reduced to the point that no one even wants to finish this shit to begin with. No one cares. It's not...
Exactly. I've been saying that the reward structure makes it so that also you don't want to deal with this bullshit.
worth it. I don't blame anybody for leaving. I'm not mad at the people not pressing their buttons, really. I don't really care. If the dungeon group falls apart or we can't complete it, no big deal. But why do you have to penalize me further?
That is another thing that people say. Oh, you have to penalize it because if not, people will just enter the dungeon, and if the first pull don't go their way, they will just get out and reset it. Who cares? Let them do it. Let them do it. You are still wasting your time, and if people do it like 20 minutes into the run, it is more of a waste of time. This isn't a compelling argument to not do it. Let them do it, motherfucker. Who cares? I prefer that being possible than the bullshit we have now that completely wastes your time.
Have I not been fucked enough? What? Do I have to turn around while you're fucking me and say, yeah, this is even better, you could make it worse? Who's asking for this? Who wants this mechanic? And I know you could say, well, just get good, just do the 12, don't...
Yeah, get good, brother, get good. Motherfucker, fucking pussy bitch. Sometimes even if you are insane, you can complete the dungeon by yourself. Idiot. And by the way, just because you can overcome a bad system, it doesn't make it a good system. I used this example before, and I know it is an extreme example, but it illustrates the thing well. Just because you can overcome a bad system, it doesn't mean that the system is good. When there were, well, there are still slaves out there, but let's think about the time where slavery was prevalent. You could buy your freedom. There were slaves that could buy their freedom. It was hard to do, but they could do it. Now imagine a slave that bought their freedom says to a person that is still a slave, hey, don't complain, motherfucker, just get good and buy your freedom. That is stupid, brother. Just because you can buy your freedom, it doesn't mean the system is correct. The system sucks dick. And that is what is happening in this shit. The system sucks. Just because you can overcome it doesn't mean it is good.
Fail. Brother. Yeah. But pick whatever level you want. It doesn't matter. If you're trying to progress keys at a super high level, maybe you're trying to do 15s and 16s, you still suffer the same fate. If you fail it, but you can do 15s and you're trying to work on doing 16s, now you just have to do a 15 that you don't really give a shit about because you've already progressed past that point. I don't show up to a raid fight.
Exactly what I said.
And my guild's working on Kaiveza, we fail and wipe, and now we've got to go back and kill Brood Twister again to prove that we've
Exactly. In raiding you don't have this problem. You just try the boss again. Oh no, you have to have a punishment for failing. Yes, you fail, you try the boss again. Why it is fine in Mythic Plus or it is fine in raiding and not in Mythic Plus? This is stupid, brother.
That's not even a good comparison, right? Raid boss fights, it's handled differently. You're not on a timer, it's good content. You just get to progress a fight over and over. No matter how many pulls and wipes that you have, you can come back in. You can even extend the lockout and pick right back up where you left off.
Exactly. Dude is making great points, by the way. I am loving this video. Sup, Jazzarus, how you doing? Yo, Ninja Stuart, my dude, how you doing, brother? I hope everything is cool. Just don't have books. Exactly. Well, you cannot have them, right? But they can try their best. They can try their best. There was one slave who got their freedom and went on to buy slaves. I read about that. That is insane, brother. But hey, can you blame him? Can you blame him? I don't know. That was the way things were, right? I don't know. I won't judge him. I won't judge him because it was legal, it was the system. What can you do? The failing to kill a raid boss is the punishment. Exactly. And the failing to complete the dungeon is the punishment. Do what works, right? Exactly.
Oh, you're capable of doing that. It's different content. I understand that. It's not infinitely scaling content like the dungeons are. So let's compare them to something that does scale up, right? How about delves? And now I get the tuning on delves, especially at the beginning of the expansion, was just nonsensical. It's Willy Wonka. It doesn't matter. It's all made up. With delves, the tiers go up and up, and things get harder. There are even some affixes. It's similar, in a way, to the Mythic Plus system. And you can even do it with a group. You don't have to do it solo. You can do it with other people, and at a certain point, that was a hell of a lot easier, and it's the only way they were completable. But nonetheless, it scales up, and it's content that you can step into to kind of challenge yourself some, right? And if you go into a tier 11 delve and you can't quite do it because the mechanics one-shot you like a dungeon boss does, or something like that, or you wipe and you can't complete it, there's no timer, but nonetheless, you got a set amount of lives, and maybe you brick it. You don't get kicked out and say, oh, well, now I've got to do a tier 10 before I'm allowed to attempt tier 11 again. That doesn't happen, and it shouldn't happen with the Mythic Plus system either. And balance changes don't even really matter, or at least not that they address the root cause of the problem, the important part. Yeah, you can buff classes to where they deal more damage, or nerf dungeons to where they're way less deadly, and you might see key completion rates at, certain levels go up. It might be that people are accessing a lot higher level content, or way more people are completing what they were previously. That's fine, but it doesn't address the issue that no matter whether you're going 7 to 8, 11 to 12, or 15 to 16, you still have to engage with this part of the system. It seems very ass backwards, and
I took the queue for the dungeon and I didn't complete my theater bullshit and they don't give me completion. This is stupid too, brother.
Only option, really, is to not deplete at all. Just never deplete your key. Always run shit that you're able to complete and do complete, regardless of what happens within the dungeon. Whether your tank gets stuck behind a flag, or shithead Sammy Shaman can't plus lust on the big pack. But why did we do the big pack anyway to begin with? Oh wait, I forgot, we're actually competing right this very moment to have the rank 1 parse for 12 Dawnbreaker, you fucks. You have sent me into another dimension, and I feel like I'm going through a whirlwind of pissed off. Why am I here? Who is this? Why does this dick say, what's wrong with the Death Knight's IO? He's only 2,700. Can he run a 12? Yeah, you fucking prick. You're the one that bricked my key. Okay, we good?
Bro,
We're back.
I totally
We're
get
back.
this dude.
You're already punished
He's spitting
enough.
facts in here.
The rewards are reduced. And not only that, when you're running dungeons throughout the week, you don't even really give a shit about the reward from the dungeon at a certain point because it's not even rewarding you with the best gear that you have possible to get. That comes from your vault, which you gotta wait for to show up on Tuesdays. It doesn't even matter. That aspect of it is honestly totally removed. And if you're capped on crests, who gives a shit if you get more of a lower tier crest? None of this matters. I just cannot understand why this is a thing that has stuck around for so long. And why it's not even been tested for an alternative. Why is there not even a season that comes out, like I don't know, season 4, where instead of, yeah, we made all the dungeon bosses' names backwards. Isn't that crazy? How about you do a season where the key doesn't fucking deplete? How about that? How about you test some important shit? How about any of that ever being up for debate? Why? Who is asking for this shit? I honestly think I'm being thrown.
There are masochist psychopaths out there that are asking for this shit. I see them, brother. They are a minority. The vast majority of players don't want this shit, but there are a minority of bitches that want this shit.
Thrown into the twisting nether, and Illidan's not even here to save me. These are my scars. Anyway, this is just putting me right back into a toxic mindset with my...
By the way, that cinematic is one of the coolest things that I have seen. I didn't play the game at that point because that was Legion, but I watched the cinematic where Illidan says, I am my scars, and you say, brother, I am Illidan, I want Illidan, or I am Illidan, or whatever. This dude is a badass.
People that I'm playing with the other players, with the pugs. It's like I'm right back in a League of Legends lobby, and now my bot lane's pissed off yelling at someone, oh, you don't know how to play AD carry, you don't know how to press lust, your forehead's too big, and you could probably knock out the biggest table known to man. I know that. So mad. The system is so stupid. Why
it is
does it
stupid.
exist? Who asked for that? Who
I don't
said,
know.
man, I really wish that there was just some way for me to get fucked twice as hard. Does anyone know? Does anyone know if there's a way to possibly get reduced rewards, waste my time twice as much, and have people mad at me and yelling at each other, and I can also have to do it again? Does anyone...
It is stupid. By the way, I can put this to the test right now with this 10. I don't wanna... I have to complete this for the world. I won't put it to the test. But I could put this to the test and deplete this fucking key right now.
Know of a way to do that? Does anyone know? What do you think? Fuck.
Brother, I get you
It's like,
completely.
what-
I get you completely.
Yeah. Dude. Man.
I agree with everything he has said in this video, by the way.
Even if it's your guildies, it's just setting you up to be pissed off at them. You hear me, Jesse? You fucker, man. You're bricking 10s, dude. Like, what are you doing? Why do we
Brother,
have to keep running
Jesse
nines?
is getting fucked in here.
Fuck.
That was a cool video, brother. That was a cool video. And this dude only has 120 subs. Brother, this was a great video, my dude. I agree completely with this dude. Thank you for the video, my man. Awesome video. Awesome video.